I bring you my reflection on creativity within advertising and the peaks and pits I have found within it, specifically in relation to my role as creative within Group 12 of AMB 339. This informed reflection also offers tips on how to improve on teamwork in regards to the rest of the semester, but also well into the future. In alignment with Katzenbach and Smith's findings, our team has been successful as we have set clear objectives, which they deem to be the most important characteristic of a successful team. These objectives were set in the form of our group rules that we constructed together in the very early stages of our group meetings, but also within more specific objectives that were set by the planners and account managers. These objectives have guided our group, and I can personally say that they have aided me in my role, as I could clearly understand what was expected of me. One thing that I can definitely improve on for the rest of the semester is confidence in my creative ability. Although I don't struggle with speaking up in a group situation, I have found myself doubting my abilities to some extent considering my lack of experience within this role. We are yet to finalise any big idea, but I do feel nervous leading up to our massive team brainstorm, as I feel my team members will expect me to have creative genius up my sleeve, which hopefully I do. And though I'm fully prepared and actually looking forward to the brainstorming, the unfamiliar specifics of being a creative does make me a little nervous. That being said, findings suggest that people generally get nervous surrounding something that they care about, and I do think that this is true in this case, as I hope to bring my best work to the table. To assist in overcoming this lack of confidence, I will apply some top tips I've taken from Joffrey Rowling's Creative Thinking and Brainstorming book. For instance, remembering to be aware of the barriers which are hindering my creativity and removing them. On a broader level, I do understand where this pressure sort of stems from, as there are many expectations applied to creatives and just creative people in general, following theories and statements that pop up in nearly all creative advertising literature that have shaped how creative people are viewed. For instance, Tellis, who said back in 1998 that the most important function of an agency is designing creative ads. Orwell's in 1992, who said that the creative department in advertising agencies are often staffed by brilliant yet eccentric people. It may just be me that feels that this sort of adds a bit of extra pressure, but as someone that sort of might come across as quite, normally dressed and looking, the sort of creative stigma that's attached to people, I feel I lack, and it does make me lack my confidence in my creative ability a little bit. So the second thing I know I can improve on is remembering that everyone has creative ability. And even though sometimes I can't maybe see the sense in what someone's suggesting, that I need to just sort of accept everything and work with it. Evidently some members of my group think really analytically, and this makes them so great at their role. And I'm not saying that they don't possess creative ability, as they undoubtedly do. But as someone that lacks an analytical brain, I find I get my guard up when my ideas are put on the back burner for someone not in my role. I've experienced this in other settings, but have found it to a greater extent in relation to this group task, considering the pressure that comes with being one of only two creatives. In the back of my mind, I would be disappointed and embarrassed if the group preferred someone else's idea, considering it was my job to come up with one. Many scholars hold that the creative process is different from ordinary day-to-day conventional thinking. I've definitely found this to be true through my involvement in AMB 339. As my degree and daily life doesn't constantly have me engage in critical thinking, I've really had to work to apply creative thinking to each task, even if, for instance, the criteria doesn't suggest it. And I will make sure to apply my most creative brain throughout the rest of the subject. These things aside, I really do enjoy team brainstorming and would like to think this is one thing I've done very well so far. I like to bounce off other people's ideas, mostly my own, and go from there. But I do really like to sort of chat through anything I'm thinking, and have found that in group situations I do come up with the best ones. While we're on good things, I'll add that in regards to group input, I believe I've managed to communicate effectively and lengthen group discussions since the beginning of the subject. This probably just stems from my performance background that has equipped me with the confidence to speak up in situations and with people that I'm not super familiar with. I'm really enjoying the independence and the hands-on experience I'm gaining from this subject, and I do really look forward to fully applying myself as a creative with all these things in mind moving forward.